So welcome, good afternoon, girls. Nice to see you again. We are going to start our week 15. Impressive that we are in week 15. Incredible, really. Incredible. And I feel that since week 11, we have been going very quickly. And I commend you really because you were able to finish all of the tasks. Well, I mean, we discussed in class and you have all the elements to, yes, exactly, Krishna, time flies, yes. But in this last month, it was like a I don't know, a waterfall of many situations about elections. And since elections day, I thought it was a quick rush. And as I was commenting, I was going to visit some friends on that trip to Santiago before traveling myself. And things had to change radically now. So everything has had to change, yes, just because of the news from the CNA, evaluations, classes, final meetings, everything is in a position of changing. So as you see, time is constant change and time flies. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. We are now almost finishing. So I remind you, I have just thought about changing this date for participation in individual, in forum participation, because I need more time to check all the forums. So please take advantage of the time to finish that participation online. So I have moved it, and I might still move it 2 more weeks, just to give you time, and also to give myself time to go finish with other tasks before. We are also planning the unit plan, which we will revise towards which we will be working today and next Tuesday with final feedback. Making some, we will reflect on something, revise some important information, just to give you the space to discuss with your groups and let your creativity flow. You're more than welcome to make proposals that I can to which I can give feedback. Yes, and let us think of the best way to organize all of the activities and contents in your unit plans. And the portfolio, of course, you will have time to finish your portfolio next Tuesday. Whenever the unit plans are finished, then you will have all the time to finish your portfolios as well. So we don't have any more classes themselves. It's just to finish, to meet with classmates and finish this last requirement, this last evaluation item. And of course, the time that is left, you can use for your portfolio. More than welcome. If you need to check something with me, it's also possible. So you have completed up to task 7, which is the development of written activities, writing activities. So our schedule looks like this. We are here in week 15. So we will work in a final unit plan. Hopefully you will have by the end of the class, you might have decided on the topic, the activities, the organization of activities. We're going to reflect on that so that you can receive feedback, finalize next week, and dedicate yourselves to finishing all of the other events. There was the motion of presenting by means of video. This oral presentation might be by means of video, might be by means of a video, which is a good idea, of a video, yes, and that will reduce the time, the need to meet in synchronous meetings, yes, and give us more freedom in the last week to finish corrections on my side, and also to give you time to finish your other evaluations. So up to now, this can be, everything is changing just because of this news that we are, that in week 17, we will have the accreditation process. It's a series of meetings that we will have along 3-4 days. And we have to be available for that. And that means a lot of changes. We have had to make some changes and we will still need more changes. And we will need to make more changes. So all of us need to be attentive to this situation and do the best we can to fulfill all of the requirements, okay? So just to clarify, because of these meetings, previous meetings we have, we will finish next week. We will finish at around 5. You will be free just to finish your work. And remember, try to work proactively, thinking, focusing, so that every minute, every time we meet is productive. Productive is towards finishing all of the products. So with that said, we have still to check the last exercises of task 7. Remember, we did last week, we talked about developing writing activities. Yes, and you should have found this list of strategies to develop activities for developing writing in second language that we presented in this slide. And you might have thought as a group, as different groups, you might have thought of activities to develop the writing skill. Okay, that, of course, that activity can be included in the thematic unit plan if you want. It's a possibility. So remember, everything you do is meaningful, yes, in order to support your other tasks. So this is everything. This is what we need to check from the last task, task 7, and then start the reflection on, continue the reflection on thematic unit, and I will give you the space to discuss in your groups what is this unit going to be in your groups. Okay. So in any case, last class we discussed one of the possibilities of activities that was shared writing. Shared writing is something we do normally also with you in classes. Whenever you brainstorm or you have ideas and you just say aloud certain sentences and I write for you, yes, and I write them down and try to support your process of thinking. And so that is shared writing, and we saw an example last week that is adaptable to different ages and to different levels of proficiency. So that's something you can do with your students. Yes, and that is a controlled activity. We saw this, an example of this controlled activity last Tuesday. So you have all the resources, you have the tasks and the resources. For sure you can finish that and add that to your portfolios. Okay, task group 2 is planning a thematic unit, and this is a reflection that we started 2 weeks ago, if I am not mistaken. We have had some discussions. You were just starting your process of thinking, and this was our shared writing activity. Yes, when you were reflecting thematic approach to language learning. Yes, and we said that a thematic unit is a lesson plan created around a theme and sub-themes. Yes, remember that we always have some sub-themes included, that sometimes a theme, a topic is very wide, and so we need to focus. And that unit teaches a topic including and also elements of language, vocabulary, grammar, and the 4 skills. So a thematic unit includes, and this is your words, these are your words, it's a unity in which you teach all of the elements of the language, the skills, and a topic. And if you remember what you did in your lesson plan, you also focused on the same elements. You focused on a unit that was mandated by the bases curriculares. So you already had a big topic. From that big topic, you decided on a subtopic. And then you decided on the vocabulary, on the grammar elements, and the skills that you were going to teach, and the skills you were going to develop. So you continue working along the same logics. Then benefits of a thematic approach. So we said children can learn more content. Yes, it's more meaningful. They can make connections, that's for sure. That's something that really brings a lot into the classroom. When we started with CLIL, and CLIL is very much related, it's content and language integrated learning to school, more 10 years ago, or more than 10 years, more, 12 or 13 years ago. It was a great shock for students because it was the first time that they had this experience, and they would ask questions like, "But Miss, are we learning English or history? English or chemistry or science?" And it's not either or. We can teach science, and we know by means of CLIL that we can teach a topic of science and teach English language at the same time. And you know, you can do this, and you have been doing this, you have been experiencing this in the career. So you know this is possible with more or less levels of success or not so much success, but anyway, learning is a process. It's not always linear. Sometimes you go back and then you go forward. The important thing is that you keep going and learning. But this event of having topics to talk about was a news, and was a great step forward for our students and for us as teachers who were learning at that moment how to do it. So it made a lot of progress for us in teaching English. So, and this has happened everywhere where this was applied. So CLIL has lots of benefits in the learning process. We could contact to other subject areas, work with other professors, and make this learning experience more meaningful. And if you remember, at the beginning of the semester, we were talking about these activities activities in the classroom that use the language to analyze to do a metalinguistic analysis, that is language, to learn more about language, grammar, points, yes, verbs in the past, in the present. Language used for real communication, remember, for communication and for authentic tasks. And so we needed to think how language is used for these 3 activities. So it is important to learn about the language. It is important to use the language in communication and to carry out authentic tasks. So you have this in the very beginning. If you go back to presentations, the first weeks, you're going to see this. And we analyze different activities. Yes. Is this an authentic use of the language? Is this communicative use of the language? So all of that comes back again, because now we need to put all of this knowledge together. Yeah. And of course, in this article, which I'm going to share with you, also upload to Educandos. It's not mandatory reading, but it's an interesting reading. A unit of instruction consists of a series of lessons that are connected to each other, possibly by theme, grammatical point, or language function, or all of them. And they are connected. Yes, all of these lessons are connected, not only by theme, but also because we are following this thread of teaching political, grammatical points, yes, vocabulary, items, and also developing skills. So that is what Brown says, a lesson, and compares a lesson, one lesson, to a unit. And the lesson is a unified set of activities, and that's what you did in October. Yes, you created a set of activities that relate to each other around the topic, about the theme, and also around grammatical elements, vocabulary, and skills. And that lasts for 40, 90 minutes. Remember that when we were doing face-to-face classes lasted 90 minutes in schools. In el Colegio Concepción, it was 90 minutes long. So imagine the whole class with all the sections, yes, the beginning, the development, the closure, and a long, long class. They were long classes. Consequently, a thematic unit, yes, if we compare that class, that lesson to a thematic unit is a series of lessons. So we have one lesson, a series of activities. A unit, a series of lessons. Possibly 4 or 5 classroom periods. We're going to reduce to three classes of 40 minutes each. Yes, come into account that we have had this other experience of virtual classes that are connected by a topic or theme that connects students with language in a communicative manner. And this author makes a lot of emphasis in that this integrated thematic and skills integrated unit plan is also revolves a lot around communicative language teaching, and that comes perfectly to comes perfectly into our syllabus, because that is what we have been doing, revolving all our activities and everything we have developed around the communicative language teaching method, yeah, and the different approaches that we have learned in this semester and last semester. So that would be perfect, yes. You have a topic, yes, a theme to talk about, your grammar points, vocabulary points, the skills to develop, but also that students use the language in a communicative way. Yes, so that would be a perfect way to round up the whole semester and the whole year if we join the 2 semesters. One is a continuation of the other. So something you have already done, go back, make up your mind. You have discussed the different bases curriculares up to 4th grade. They are found here. They're called propuesta. And then from 5th grade onwards, we have the official links. So again and again, you need to go back there and make up your mind. Which level are you going to work with? And you have different possibilities according to the different levels that you decide to work with. You have freedom, but use your freedom wisely to choose and to be proactive and to intention your discussion towards finding this grade level quickly, as well as the unit you're going to work with, and not spending so much time because we know time is short. So in this slide, what we discussed is the description you have in your lesson plans. In regards what the unit plan is a group work, yes, and the idea that it's going to be presented in written, yes, a written version, and the oral version that we were talking about some minutes ago. So I have everything, all of this, I also have in a Word document for you to have all the resources there, the links and the explanations, okay? So we talked also about this process. So you need to select a grade and revise the bases curriculares. And that's our basis. We know we need to teach following the basis that is given to us by the Mineduc. Then you read the content and decide on a unit. Remember that each grade has all the content divided in units. Then you read the learning outcomes, yes, for the unit. And then you decide on the unit sub-themes to organize your thematic integrated skill plan. Remember that the unit themes in the curriculum, in the bases curriculares, are very generous, and they can include lots of different sub-themes. So that is what you need to be focusing here, sub-theme. And you need to think, how are you going to develop the activities along 3 classes if you have to teach that sub-theme to a class, yes? And how are you going to organize the activities for each day? So it's a lot of decision, but you did one lesson plan already, so it shouldn't be so difficult, yes? And you're going to have feedback, and we can discuss the topic so as to guide you, and so you find out the way to do this. And you're going to use the lesson plan format that you have also on Educando. And this is a copy of what we did, remember, together at the beginning of the semester until midterm. We were working with this outline, yes, with this outline, and here you have all of the sections that you need to respect in the lesson plan for each day. Yeah, day 1, day 2, day 3. You also have some ideas on published blogs and websites in which different teachers discuss their thematic units and how they found topics that are of interest to their students and made the connections with their curriculum, their demands from the curriculum, but also with other curricular areas, so as to work together and elaborate this integrated unit plans. So here you have these resources. You have a Word also with all these resources for you to check and have ideas. And finally, Shin is from this author from this short article that she discusses, in which she discusses the thematic unit and gives an example step by step, but it's an example to be applied with older students, in my opinion. However, she has divided the process into steps, and I thought that the steps can be also useful for us in our level. As we said, one step is to revise the curriculum, the standards, bases curriculares. It depends on the different ministerial documents that we have, in order to discover which are the contents, the topics expected for each grade level. So we have already that. Then you choose a theme that is meaningful and relevant to students. And remember, you have big topics, but within that topic, we see in our bases curriculares, you might look for a sub-theme, something that is interesting, relevant for our students within that big topic. Yeah? So you have what we eat. Yes, but that's very general. What can be more interesting, more useful for our students to learn? And for example, in October, one of the ideas was to discuss healthy food, for example. And that is a topic that our students might or might not think is relevant for them. I do not know whether they would like that a lot, but they can make connections to other subject areas, and therefore connect to other knowledge, and that will make more sense for them. yes, with science, for example, with science fairs, las famosas ferias de ciencias. And so all of those activities that are also part of the school life can be more meaningful and make that activity meaningful and relevant to students. Then the step 3, you brainstorm ideas to incorporate real life situations. Remember the use of language in authentic situations. And we were given very basic examples at the beginning of the semester. When you tell the students, close the door, open the window, and you are giving them commands that are real life situations. They need to open, close in the real life. But that's a very, very basic example. If you can incorporate these tasks and situations, then language also becomes alive for them. Yeah? And they can do something useful because they're going to use the language to learn grammar, to learn vocabulary, for sure. But they also need to use the language to do something real, yes, to use it in real situations and to communicate something new. So think of this, and you, at the beginning of the semester, you have examples. So just for you to keep in mind. Then step 4 is organize the order of activities. So how do I organize activities for one day, and also I have to organize for more days. Yeah? So for example, you vary the tasks and the language skills. If you do speaking and listening one day, the other day you will do reading and writing. It's a possible thing, so you vary that. Activities need to be useful. Well, sometimes useful in the sense having an objective, yes, in order to accomplish the objective. Then connected activities from receptive to productive, and that is what we also did in the module. First, we revised all of the activities that were receptive, listening, reading, and very little production, speaking, a little bit of speaking. That's what we saw until the spring break, the spring games. And then now we have go through analyzing more sophisticated activities like writing, yes? So in general, you go from receptive to productive. You need to listen to speak. You need to read in order to write, yes? So that's a good idea to organize. And recycle language. You're all the time recycling language, yes? So if you we have done that also in eventos. For example, revise vocabulary, go back to old vocabulary. We have been talking about similar topics or topics that are connected, so that you're always recycling and remembering language and elements from grammar, for example. So in there you have lots of examples that you do and you naturally do, yes? So you present the topic, you develop the topic, and then you make a closure. You're all the time recycling that same element that you're teaching. Yes. And incorporate projects that is also probably not applicable to all grades, but at the least some kind of activity that goes a little bit beyond the classroom or beyond what is controlled activities, yes, and give them the possibility to have some choice or autonomy, above all in communicative situations, yes. So for example, if students can go from very controlled activities to freer activities in which they can produce a product, finish a product of their choice, yes, where you can write a description of this or that, probably still controlled by the teacher in lower grades, but give them the option to see, or the feeling to see, that they can do something for themselves. It's not mandatory, okay? These are just activities or some a brainstorming of steps, so that you see that you go through all of these every day, yeah? Every day or every time you have to think organizing even one activity. But this is like putting everything on black and white, just to see the process that we go through. And as teachers, you always go through all of these processes, okay? So you have a lot to think about. Nothing is absolutely new, and you have done this perfectly well for spring break, for the spring games, sorry. And so I completely trust in you that what you need is to organize, yes, to organize yourself, to make the decisions that you need to make, and organize the activities in order to fill in these different sections of the unit. And think you're going to teach this one Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. How are you going to develop this topic in these 3 days? Yes. So you know the, let me check, I need to share the task. So in this task that I'm sharing via chat, you have all of these resources and quotes, yes, and explanations. Okay, and then you have this short article. Wait a minute. Okay, so Shin, I am going to share Shin's article. That's the document by Shin. A PDF is not long, it's on 7 pages, in which she, in order to prepare her doctoral thesis, made all of this development of how to plan a thematic unit. And I'm going to share the presentation as well. So you have all of the elements that you need to start your work. Okay, so do you have any questions? To share the PPT presentation. So, any questions? Any questions you will need? So you will be ready to work in your groups. It's 3:30. Let's go to have bring something to eat, have new ideas. We need to make connections. Let's go to the restroom and we come back in 10 minutes. Do you think? Ready? Yes. And then we work.
Y así nos separan grupos, ¿verdad?
Yes, I will separate you in groups in 10 more minutes. Yes, okay, okay.
Okay.
So see you in 10 minutes, everyone. Come ready to work. Call your classmates. See you. You are working together, so yes, she was feeling sick. Yes, I know. She talked to me last week. I thought. Yes, she has not been well, but I ask you, in some way we need to solve about the group work, yeah? So we can talk about that. And we are going to divide it also by this side here. So we're going to have the groups. And I will talk to you personally in each group. So that we organize our work. Okay. So if you go to work in a group, I'll talk to you in each group and answer questions and guide you with some ideas that you might already have. Okay, so see you there.
Okay, see you.
I was glad to see you all working in different ideas of finishing some sections. So my best of congratulations for you for your work. And now we have to write the agreement for to end this afternoon. You can continue working, but one important thing will be if you have anything finished this week, yes, to upload. Please upload your any lesson plan that you have any lesson plan that you have from the unit, yes, from the unit that you have planned, that you have finished, in order to receive feedback. That would be it, that you have finished. That would be very, very important for you to have some feedback, to know if you're doing well, if you need to change something, or if you have any suggestions, okay? In order to receive feedback. So I will create a task on Educando in week 15 for you to upload whatever you have finished. Feedback. A task created on Educandos, to the task created on Educandos in week 15. Okay, any questions that you might have? Educandos. So if there are no changes, we meet again next Tuesday to finish, to round up all the classes, the unit, and to organize how is the presentation going to be. So we are going to write together, shared writing. We are going to write all of the instructions for the final video, okay? For the final presentation. And you will have time to finish your portfolios, your participation, everything, yes? So come with lots of energy, food, drinks, everything to take advantage of the time and work well to finish as much as possible, yeah? Created on Educandos in week 15. Okay, do you have any questions? Any questions? Any doubts? So we will meet then next Tuesday. And in any case, if you have any question, you can contact me any time of the week, you know, any time of the day. Okay, everyone? People, are you there? Can you hear me?
Okay, teacher.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Krishna. I hope you have a great evening, and I will see you next Tuesday. We will have here a virtual talk. Yes, a virtual talk to finish the semester. Okay. I am eager to read your ideas, your units, your activities. So more than welcome to send them. Okay, see you girls. Have a great evening. See you. Bye bye.
Thank you, teacher. Bye
Bye,
bye.
teacher.
Welcome. Bye bye.